Speed is everything in Star Wars, whether it's outrunning an Imperial Star Destroyer, dodging enemy fighters, or jumping to hyperspace seconds before total annihilation. Firepower often gets all the glory when it comes to starships, but oftentimes speed wins the day. But what actually makes a ship fast in Star Wars, and which ones truly earn the title of the fastest? From modified freighters to prototype starfighters, these are the 10 fastest ships in all of Star Wars. For clarification, we'll be ranking these ships by sublight speed. That's how fast they go in real space with their sublight engines, not in hyperspace via the use of a hyperdrive. That's another video for another day. Let's dive in. Number 10, the Ghost. This modified VCX 100 light freighter is owned and piloted by General Harrison Dula and the Ghost crew, one of the most prominent and active rebel cells in the entire Alliance. The Ghost hits speeds of around 1,000 kilometers an hour or 621 miles per hour, which is pretty incredible considering how bulky it is. Speeds like these make it one of the fastest freighters in the Rebel Alliance. And while it might not be as nimble or dangerous as an X-Wing, it can still outrun pretty much all Imperial ships. Add on top its impressive armoring and shields, and you have a pretty difficult ship to shoot down. What makes the Ghost's speed even more incredible is the fact that this freighter also has an auxiliary ship built into it, the Phantom and later the Phantom II, attached to the rear of the Ghost, and can be detached and used as a shuttle. So considering the Ghost was such a bulky and lumbering ship, the massive speeds that it could reach were incredibly impressive. But there is one Rebel Alliance freighter that beats the Ghost on speed. Number 9, the Millennium Falcon. The most infamous ship in all of Star Wars, ranking so low might surprise you, considering that Han Solo himself prides himself on how fast this modified YT-1300 light freighter actually is. And it's true, it's an incredibly fast ship, considering its size, reaching speeds of 1,050 kilometers per hour or 652 miles per hour. This is helped by not only its relatively slimline design and stripped down body and interior, but also its massive bank of engines mounted to the back of the freighter. But the Millennium Falcon's true power and speed is in its hyperdrive, being able to reach 0.5 past light speed, something that very few other spacecraft are able to do. The Millennium Falcon, when it originally rolled off the Corellian production line, was not nearly as fast as Han prides himself on. It was first used as an intermodal tug, pushing containers in orbital freight yards. Check out our dedicated every single YT series freighter video for more on that. Eventually, though, it came into the possession of Lando Calrissian, who spent a lot of time and money converting the Falcon into a luxury ship, not only entirely refitting the interior, but also upgrading the specs of the ship, including those all-important engines. Eventually, Han won the Millennium Falcon from Lando, and while he neglected the interior of the freighter, he continued to tinker with the engines until they were fine-tuned to peak performance. Number 8, Naboo N1 Starfighter. Not only does the N1 have it in looks, but it also packs a punch in the speed department, clocking in at a reasonable 1,100 kilometers per hour or 683 miles per hour. The N1 Naboo Starfighter is a sleek, fast, and highly maneuverable starfighter used by the Royal Naboo Security Forces. Designed for both planetary defense and escort missions, the N1 features a unique aerodynamic design, with elongated twin engines and a glossy yellow finish symbolizing Naboo's artistic and peaceful culture. It really is a thing of beauty. Despite its elegant appearance, the N1 is a capable combat ship, armed with twin laser cannons and proton torpedoes. Its massive speed comes from its high-powered engines, which allow it to outrun most starfighters of its era, making it excellent for quick strikes and evasive maneuvers. It also includes a hyperdrive, uncommon for starfighters, allowing for independent travel. you can really see why the Naboo Royal Security Forces went for such an elegant yet adaptable starfighter. Number 7. Sith Infiltrator. Also known as the Scimitar, this vessel is a heavily modified star courier designed for stealth and combat, perfect for any Sith apprentice like Darth Maul. It's equipped with many dark and mysterious devices, including a Stygium cloaking device, meaning it could become invisible to sensors, and engines that could power it up to speeds of 1,185 kilometers an hour or 736 miles per hour. Add on top the 6 concealed laser cannons and proton torpedoes, and you have a deadly and fast starship. The Scimitar is also very large. Inside, it houses Maul's Bloodfin speeder and several DRK-1 probe droids, which he used to track his prey. Faster and more advanced than most ships of its era, the Scimitar combines speed, firepower, and secrecy, making it one of the most fearsome and fast Sith vessels. In fact, the Scimitar was so fast and effective that it was even used by Darth Sidious himself after Maul was presumed dead on Naboo. That alone is a testament to how good the Scimitar actually is. Number 6. TIE Defender. Capable of flying at speeds at 1,250 kilometers an hour or 776 miles per hour, the TIE Defender is an advanced Imperial starfighter designed to outperform Rebel ships in speed, firepower, and defense. Unlike standard TIE fighters, it had 3 wings, a hyperdrive, and deflector shields, making it far more resilient. With a top speed exceeding most styles of Rebel ships, it can easily outmaneuver X-Wings, making it nearly unstoppable in combat. Armed with 6 laser cannons, ion cannons, and missiles, the TIE Defender is one of the deadliest starfighters that the Empire created. Though expensive, it was Grand Admiral Thrawn who championed its development, seeing it as the key to Imperial supremacy. Ultimately, though, the TIE Defender program was largely discontinued. While the ships were undoubtedly fast and dangerous, the Empire did not want to split its resources between the production of TIE Defenders and the construction of the Death Star. Add on top of this Thrawn's disappearance from the galaxy, and it was the final nail in the coffin for the TIE Defender. Number 5. TIE Interceptor. This marks the peak of Imperial speed and capabilities, with the Interceptor also able to hit around 1,250 kilometers an hour or 776 miles an hour. It takes the standard TIE fighter model and improves on pretty much every aspect of it, including more compact wings, a folded design, extra turrets mounted onto the wing tips, and cutaways to allow for a better field of view. But it is undoubtedly the ship's speed that is its true unique selling point. Only those Imperial pilots who display extraordinary skills behind the yoke of a standard TIE fighter get to fly the Interceptor, which, as well as being much faster than the standard TIE, is also much more expensive to produce. That means that if the Empire is going to allow them to be flown, they want to be sure that they have competent pilots in the cockpit. Because of their capabilities and speed, TIE Interceptors have proved to be a pretty big problem for the Rebellion. The saving grace was that they were rolled out towards the end of the Empire's reign, which is lucky as they outmatched pretty much anything the Rebels could throw at them. Number 4. RZ1 Awing Starfighter. There is one ship that gives the TIE Interceptor a run for its money though, and that is the Awing. This tiny starfighter is the Rebellion's direct answer to the TIE Interceptor. While they have owned A-Wings for many years, they only started to see mass use towards the end of the Galactic Civil War. They can reach speeds of 1,300 kilometers an hour or 807 miles an hour, meaning that they outpace X-Wings, Y-Wings, U-Wings, and even E-Wings. The A-Wing speed comes from its incredibly small and compact size. It is tiny, even for a one-man fighter. The cockpit is compact, and the design of the starfighter is minimal, with it essentially being a pilot strapped to 2 powerful engines. With that being said, the A-Wing can still pack a punch, making it ideal for rebel raids and hit-and-run operations. The design and effectiveness of these nippy little A-Wing starfighters is so effective that it continues to be used long after the fall of the Empire, during the Resistance's war against the First Order. Number 3. ETA2 Actis Jedi Interceptor. The second-generation Jedi starfighter, which replaced the Delta 7 Ether Sprite, could reach speeds of an eye-watering 1,500 kilometers an hour, or 932 miles per hour. The Actis' design is very similar to that of the A-Wing, in that it is incredibly small and evasive, with a focus on speed over weapons and shielding. The Delta 7s were fast, but the ETA2 Actis refined and upgraded the speed to meet the needs of the Order that used them. What makes these little starfighters so dangerous is that they are not only incredibly fast, but the Jedi pilots are naturally skilled. Their abilities to see things before they happen and instantly react in ways that normal people could only dream of means that they are able to handle a ship as fast as the Jedi Interceptor. Can a normal pilot get behind the yoke of an ETA2 Interceptor and fly it? Of course, but the chances of them mishandling it and crashing are far higher than when they are being piloted by a Force-wielding Jedi. Number 2. Black 1. Poe Dameron's T70 XWing, which he used while fighting for the Resistance against the First Order, was essentially just a normal X-Wing. However, it does have something that sets it apart from all the other starfighters in the Resistance: the large, single experimental overdrive thruster that had been attached to the back, which, when activated, can accelerate Poe's fighter up to 1,800 kilometers an hour or 1,118 miles an hour. While speeds like this would normally have been too much for your average pilot or Resistance X-Wing to handle, Poe was known for having skills in the cockpit that rivaled those of the Jedi of old. Poe used his souped-up starfighter against the First Order dreadnought Fulminatrix, making use of its incredible speed to get past their defenses and take out the surface cannons, all while evading an onslaught of TIE fighters. This cleared the way for the much slower and more lumbering Resistance bombers to come in and take down the Fulminatrix. This admittedly hollow victory would not have been possible without a starfighter as speedy and nimble as Poe's X-Wing. Number 1. Din Djarin's N1 starfighter. The fastest ship in the Star Wars galaxy is easily Din Djarin's N1. This highly modified Naboo starfighter has been upgraded to the absolute max. It was custom built to improve not only the speed, but the handling and maneuverability, as well as installing a small passenger port behind the main cockpit. Similar to Poe's X-Wing, the Mandalorian starfighter is fitted with an incredibly powerful aftermarket sublight engine that can rocket the tiny little craft to speeds in excess of 2,000 kilometers an hour or 1,240 miles per hour. A single flick of a switch allowed the N1 to access its induction intake charger. This allowed it to go blindingly fast and outrun pretty much anything and everything in the galaxy. Another thing that adds to the speed of this starfighter is the fact that it has been stripped of any unnecessary plating and parts that might slow it down. It is quite literally the bare bones of a Naboo starfighter, with even the distinct yellow paintwork all but worn off. The Mandalorian's N1 starfighter might not be as large and practical as his ST-70 Razor Crest assault ship that he used to pilot, but instead it is built for speed, allowing him to get out of all kinds of sticky situations fast. So there you have it, the 10 fastest ships in the Star Wars galaxy. What are your thoughts on this list? Did we miss any ships out? Leave your thoughts in the comments.